So it's midnight, obviously the best time for an event to start because it's all based on Japanese time. Um, anyway, this deck looks like a mess, but I have done some test hands with it and done a little bit of testing against the AI decks, and it's been producing hands that are working for me. So I'm going to go over the theory really quick. It's pretty similar to what I'm normally on. Just obviously this is the Limit 1 festival Highlander format. So I am playing, of course, Orbital Hydrolander itself. Um, Before that, I am, of course, still just trying to get to the scrap engine if I can. If not, get into the Orcust engine, which I am going to be having to do a lot more in this kind of a deck than that one. It's also worth noting some of my testing was with Phoenix Enforcer. Now, interestingly, the reason I decided to play this was not because I decided I want to try and force scrap Orcust in this format. It was, I thought, what can I actually make consistent? Now, I thought I was going to be playing a 40 card deck. Apparently, this is 57, and I'm going to play the game and figure out what to take out. Probably going to be orchestrated Einsatz is what's going to come out, but I'll find that out after playing some games. So the reason this is consistent is because just like usual, we have Scrap Raptor, Scrapyard, and Fossil Dig getting into the Scrap Raptor. So it's kind of like I'm playing Scrap Raptor at 3 anyway, which, as it's the thing that I want to be actually getting into my combos, is obviously very good. And then drawing Recycler, same starting point. Getting something like Armageddon Knight is going to be getting me a harp in the graveyard, and that's going to be getting me into that as well. I am still playing this as a going second deck, so I am playing a lot of going second cards in here. Perform Pal Celial targets a monster your opponent controls, negates its effect, even if for some reason your opponent's monster ends up leaving the field, leaving no cards on their board. This is still a card on the board that isn't doing anything that you can pop with the scrap engine when you get around to Wyvern doing that. I have gone ahead and put in Cypher Gamma, Delta, and Epsilon. These 3 card types are all going to be fairly frequent in this event, I'm thinking. So therefore I feel pretty safe just playing one of each of them. Of course, not allowed to play more than one, but just to fill out a number of hand traps to actually have. That said, the side frames actually fit in fairly well, since a lot of the time when I am activating spell cards early on, spell cards in particular early on, I don't actually have any monsters on the field. So when I am starting my turn and activating Scrapyard to get to my engine to begin with, that is a lot of the time when I would be hand trapped with something like an Ash Blossom. Obviously Ash is at 1, but I have terrible luck my opponents are going to have Ash. I don't know. So maybe the side frames, they might come out, but I'm thinking that because of the greater number of trap cards that are going to exist in this format in particular, and people playing weird one-of spell cards as well, which I'll get to in a second myself. So I am, of course, I'm playing things like Nibiru. I am playing all of these kaijus, just one of each of the 4 kaijus that I'm playing. Now, to fill out, as normally I play 7 kaijus, I already said Perform Valcelio, but then moving on from that, I've also got cards like Book of Moon that are going to flip a monster face down, still leaving it on the board for the Scrap Wyvern to actually destroy, which is something the kaijus normally, a role the kaijus normally fulfill. I am going to go ahead and take out Einsatz. It can be good, but I'm thinking it's going to be more of a hindrance than it is good. And then I've got Widow Anchor. Again, I am going to be starting my turn without actually having any monsters on the field anyway, activating cards like Scrapyard and Fossil Dig. So just the ability to negate a monster on my opponent's board, and once again, it is actually still leaving that card on the board for Wyvern to pop without it actually interfering with my combo. And then the same deal, of course, the one impermanence. So the Widow Anchor is kind of just a second imperm droplet, and I am playing Crossout Designator in here. I went ahead and just crafted this card for this event specifically. And then Dogmatic Punishment is another card. It's a bit slower because it is a trap that doesn't activate from hand. And it will cut me off of IP lines if I've got that in combination, but I can IP first. What this is really in here for, yes, it's removal, and that is good. But what it's really in here for is to just send Cyframe Lord Omega because of the effect engrave to return cards that are in my graveyard to either my main deck or to my extra deck. So if I can send Omega with punishment and maybe return a Scrap Wyvern to my extra deck, and then I can get into that again. Usually if I'm going into Scrap Wyvern the second time, I don't actually need to be getting into negations, things like Appaloosa or Boral Savage Dragon. I just need to be putting guys on board to deal damage, and that does give me the ability to do that. I am worried about running out of actually having scrap monsters in deck, and hopefully with Pot of Avarice I can actually fulfill that as well. Get the scraps back in deck, maybe get just enough Orcus back in there that I am going to be able to actually banish a Harp out of grave. I've set a Girsu back to deck perhaps when I still had a Bombard in deck at that time. Something like that, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking on that. Other than that, pretty much everything else is just same as normal. So, without anything further, I am going to get into it, and I am playing Emergency Teleport. I don't have Ghost Reaper in this game. It is a UR because every hand trap is a UR. So I just don't have Ghost Reaper. I would be playing that as well, but I didn't mean to remove that, but it's fine. I'm not going to save discard changes in return. So I'm probably going to be playing against Japanese players. See how this goes. Oh boy, I get to choose. Okay, I will be going second, please. Now let's see if I brick. I hope not. Okay, Korean player. Potentially. Could just be someone who used Google Translate as well. Yeah, okay, so this hand is not good. But it is very, very close. I just need to draw any way into the scrap line. And this hand becomes really good. Any way into the Orcust line does it as well. Skeleton even gets me into Coral Dragon, and then from Coral Dragon I can actually destroy something by sending the Crescendo, and Crescendo can get Girsu to my hand. So it's not going to be good immediately, but it could be good next turn. But also it could let me add any other Orcust to hand that I can send off Twin Twister, right? Oh, I haven't read any of these cards. Unaffected by activated effects of monsters except whose level is lower than... And I actually drew the skeleton. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to read your cards. Let's just summon the skeleton, summon the wielder, see how this goes. Wait, except whose level is equal to or lower. This is a level 2. Okay, well, that is an unfortunate thing there. I'm gonna activate it. anyway. Like, even though I know it's not gonna work. So let's activate Coral Dragon. I'll go ahead and discard Crescendo. Pop this since that's unaffected. And that is a oh boy. I don't know. Do I want to activate the terraforming just to deck thin or save it in case I draw a scrapline? I'm gonna go to the battle. There's probably a battle effect on this thing that I haven't read, but there's not. Okay, you are entirely relying on just having a guy there. I think that should be good enough. That should be fine to keep me alive. So the power level of this format, obviously, well, the power ceiling, but more so the consistency of reaching your deck's power ceiling. Because I imagine there are going to be a lot of decks that still have very high power ceilings, like mine actually has a very similar power ceiling to normal. I can kind of almost pull off the same plays. Agent of Creation. Okay. I think I just punishment this immediately. Like, I just don't even let you pay life points because then you'll get a Shine Ball, and if you get a Shine Ball and you can go into Link Karibo, I am going to go ahead and send Omega here, as I mentioned. So then, I will be able to return. Oh no. Oh no, you can reborn your. Yeah. Reborn Venus, and yikes. Okay, well, I don't intend to be special summoning this turn, so I'm going to go ahead and Crescendo for Girsu. And if I draw the scrapline, Girsu can be summoned from hand with Bombard, so. Because I can go Bombard, summon Girsu, Girsu effect, send Harp off of that, and then Harp to special summon Nightmare from deck. Link those and use Nightmare to get into Whirlwind. It means I won't be summoning Savage Dragon, but so be it. I'm probably winning regardless if I get into the scrapline. And I will be drawing a card when Coral Dragon gets cleared. Hopefully, I don't really know what agents do now. It's been well, when was that? That was like, I think like 2010 was probably the last time I read an agent card. Okay. Would you like to draw a card? I would, yes. I drew Gores. Okay, that is good. That is definitely good. I'm not getting OTK'd here. I'm not getting OTK'd either way. Okay. I drew Celio. My opponent has no board. What do I have engraved that I can activate? The Omega. Okay. Is there anything I'd like to send back with Omega right now? There's not. So, in that case, I'm just going to go ahead and summon the Girsu. Activate the effect. Send Harpor. Then, because there are no cards on the field, I can actually summon the token here. The zone I'm summoning to my opponent's board doesn't actually matter here. I can't go into Link Karibo. Because? Question mark? Alright, well. Here is Harp. Oh, I could have summoned that in this zone and then set Twin Twister here to turn this guy. No, actually it has to be on summon, so. Why am I locked out of the extra? What's locking me? Punishment. It's punishment that's locking me out. Well, that was stupid. Anyway, I forgot that punishment actually locks for as long as it does. But what is this guy's monster effect even? Normal or special summon target a set spell trap. Okay, well. Do you have attack points? You do, but anyway. Battle phase. I mean, this is honestly fine, because it lets me use Skeleton to summon the Gearsu next turn. No, I don't want to activate, I want to set it. Main phase 2. Lets me Skeleton for Gearsu on my next turn. But also I will have the Nightmare Engrave at that point already. And that should let me set up the Boral Savage Dragon or Dingirsu, whichever I want to be doing at that time. Unless I like screw it up because of the new cards that I'm not used to playing. Yeah, no, I don't wanna be doing that. Alright, fine, I'll read this card. What does he do? Banish an agent from your hand, field or grave. Okay, sure. Once per turn, battle damage involving fairies inflicted to opponents. Sure. Once per turn, banish fairy from your target. One card, either grave, banish it. No! Don't do that. Okay, that is a problem. What? Okay. Huh? What do you think that I'm trying to do? Anyway, this is perfect. Opponent's ending their turn. Would you like to just activate the skeleton now? Absolutely. This gives me a skeleton activation on my turn. Potentially. I mean, it depends how I go about the line, but I am going to go ahead and send the Bombard here so that I can actually get a bigger boost for the Nightmare effect. And I drew Raptor. That's cool. Alright, so this thing is not unaffected by anything. It doesn't do anything. It's not even a quick effect. Sure. That's just because I need to affect monsters and I want to leave Gearsu on board for damage. Now then, before I've actually activated any Orcusts, I'm going to go ahead and summon Raptor and go for the scrap line. No, I don't want to chain any Orcust monsters. That would lock me into darks. I do not want to be locked into darks. So I could get Chimera here, and that's funny. But yeah, the ad is Recycler. Zone Recycler. I am actually, because of the zone placement I'm going to have to link off the Gearsu. Which sucks. I don't want to discard anything in my hand, so therefore this end is Rosenex. Is it? Yeah, it's Rosenex, because I've only got the World Wand as my target for Nightmare. That's not a great zone for Wyvern. Oh well. Yeah, I really just put the Gaute in the wrong zone there. For some reason I tunneled on her effect that makes her indestructible by battle if linked to a monster. Which I haven't used in a while, but I think that's just not actually been all that relevant. I'm thinking about taking out the Chimera, just because, I mean, I don't normally play it, and so I'm not really solid on how useful it's going to be. 2, 4, 6, I think I had almost game. I don't know, I can't do math though, so. Anyway, the deck worked even if I was kind of stupid. The idea here behind the Chimera, though, is just that I only have the one raptor, so if it's in grave, Chimera can actually get it back. And the Scrap Reborn spell, I think, negates the effects of the monster that it summons for some reason, because, you know, the Scrap monster's effects were just too powerful. Okay, yeah, this hand is interesting. I do have a Seal Eel, I have a Delta. This one's Delta, right? I'm not super familiar with the side frames. Yeah. I have a Seal Eel, Delta. I have the 1 over turn to discard the Nightmare, because I will always, if I even see return, it will always be in this hand right here. Apparently playing against Invoked, even in this. Would I like to Delta the Invocation? You know what? I want the Delta during my turn, because it lets me make Omega. But it's... yeah, I should probably Delta this. My opponent's still got 4 cards in hand, and I don't know what else they're going to have, so I can't rely, I think, on just Seal Eel to seal the deal on this game. Because they could have another way into a fusion, or they could have that. Of course, invoke Dogmatica. Very cool. Very cool. I do have Omega in my extra deck, so that just kind of counters it, because I can off of Maximus send Omega and then anything else. And that's it. That's no board to do anything. Okay, Absalom negates traps. That's not useful. I'm gonna go ahead and activate return. Send off the Nightmare here. Draw 2. Oh, you had something to activate on that, huh? That's a little bit of a problem. Do I just normal summon the Seal Eel? This doesn't have a quick effect, does it? No. Okay. Passing obviously is not really an option. So I think the play is summon Seal Eel. If you have Maxi, you have it. I mean... Alright, so off of this, I am going to go ahead and send Harp. And then with that, I can activate Harp. See what you do. Nothing. Okay, then I can summon Girsu. I really should have I could have kept the Seal Eel in my hand, but I don't know. Ah, fleur-de-lis. Okay. Then I would have had to boost one of my opponent's monsters, which I just kind of didn't want to do. That really sucks, actually. Right, well. Anyway, I'm gonna go into Galtea. I am gonna put her in this zone here, where she's actually pointing towards my board at all. But also, I'm gonna send back Harp, because if I draw it, I can normal summon it. Also, this Widow Anchor is live if need be. I can't clear this without going into Din, so Babel it is. And I can use Dingirsu's attach effect to actually get the Nightmare back anyway. And then I can just attack over Fleur-de-Lis. I'm going to go over here into the least touchable zone, even though it does turn off Widow Anchor. Anyway, going on to battle. And attack over Fleur-de-Lis, because that would start boosting up all the Dogmaticas and be a real problem. In domain 2. I'm going to just hold everything else, actually. So this is a 2-material Dingirsu with the Nightmare and Galtea, which are currently safe from being banished or anything from the graveyard. The driver's banished forever, so I can't really use the Epsilon. Driver's a 6, right? Yeah. That's unfortunate. I don't really have the levels to match up with that. Like, it's possible, but it's Epsilon plus Celio plus Golem, which is a really strange board to get to actually go into Omega. Or I can do Orcust lines and like leave guys on board. The other way is to just draw 2 kaijus, but that's also weird. If I can drop an 8 on my opponent's board and a 7 on my board, I can... Nope, that doesn't do it because Epsilon is a level 2. Yeah, my only way to actually summon Omega is extremely strange. Yeah, that seems good. Yep, and the access code. I would, in fact, like to detach from Dingirsu. Let's detach Nightmare here. And I can't respond to that, so I can't use the Nightmare. Now I could bring back Dingirsu, and it's very funny to actually like pop the access code, but I don't need to. Like, this doesn't kill me, so I can go to my turn, Widow Anchor it. Oh, I could actually put 3 spells in my grave and take it with the Widow Anchor. That's extremely funny. Let's see. Oh, should I go ahead and do that? I think I should, because it's just so funny. Can I kill my opponent this turn if I do that? Because I can take it, boost it with this. Then I don't really get anywhere out of it, though, is the problem. I still have my normal summon, so it works. Okay. So I'm going to set Book of Moon. Activate Twin Twister. Discard Feather Duster. To pop Book of Moon. Activate Widow Anchor. I will negate and take it. Oh, Epsilon can't be normal summoned. Oops. Yeah, I didn't know that. Again, I don't play Cyframes. So I can send here Harp and then go into Skeleton, or I can send Skeleton to get to Dingirsu to attach Skeleton and then link these two off in main phase 2 into IP. Yeah? Or I can go to Galtea. Dingirsu's more damage. Galtea does get me into more cards though. Put her here where she is actually linked. I'll put back Skeleton. Nope, that works enough. Set a card, yeah. I apparently did not take Einsets out of here. Oh yeah, that's where Steelio went. Top of the deck. I'm forgetting a restriction on IP Masquerade now, aren't I? No, I would only be taking this until end of turn. Do I have any cards in grave? Do I just go into this? Just to, like, keep my opponent off cards? No, it's not co-linked, so I don't want to activate and then pass. Yeah, this is a really, really bad board. This is a really bad state for me. But basically the rest of my deck is, like, good to draw here. Alistair's in your graveyard. The very small panic attack I had when seeing Explosion hit the board. Okay, yeah, so here's Bombard. Yeah. Yeah, alright, cool. 2 for 2. So yeah, these games are actually slow enough that I think Einsets might be useful. Maybe that's cope, but, you know. Let's do a third game. I get to go second again. Let's see, a hand with Max C, a Kaiju, and Scrap Raptor. Well, I do have a Kaiju, I do have Scrap Factory, and I do have Reborn, and I do have 2 hand traps. Okay, so this hand is missing a starter, but a lot of my deck is starter. So, let's see what we can accomplish on that. And Blue Eyes is going first, so they aren't going to be doing anything, because, like, what are we going to have thought to put Maiden in their deck? I drew Gamma for turn. Awesome. Well, I can write in Reborn. I don't like that play. I'd rather hold my Reborn for later. Like, I'd rather hold both of these cards for later, but, I think it's just what I have to do here. I'm not entering the battle phase. Not for 200 points of damage. And then I'm passing. So, yes, I just used 2 cards to out a Blue Eyes, but I have a Blue Eyes now. And my opponent has no idea what I'm doing. So, that is kind of cool. Yep. Oh no, I drew Golem. I drew Golem. Okay, well, like, what's back there? Jelly Cannon? If I set Ghost Bell, I can get into Wyvern and start things. Alright, I need to test the backer before I commit to anything. Blazing Mirror first. Main phase 2, I will actually pass. Like, what most you're gonna do to me is 6,000, I think. So that will leave me at 500. Normal Thorn Whitestone, yeah. Yep, go ahead and link that off. Add a Blue Eyes to hand, sure. That doesn't really... Mech Knight? Ooh, I could Gamma, but I am going to Ash this. Why am I ashing this? I definitely should not ash this Whitestone. That's terrible. That is an awful use of ash, unless I get rid of a Gravedigger trap hole. Sure. I will take 2,000 for that. That's fine. So probably add this. You drew into another alternative for turn, and you're gonna summon that and hit me for 33. Don't tell me my opponent has a way to summon Chaos Max here. Oh, okay, they might. What was Sage's target? Oh. I forget how this works even. Target, I don't... Blue Eyes from your deck. Okay, I don't care. Okay, so you don't have alternative in hand, you had Sage. Because I believe this is 2 vanilla Blue Eyes in hand. Because they summoned the alternative before, and then they just added one off of Whitestone, so it should be 2 vanilla Blue Eyes in hand. And you're summoning Dragon Spirit of White. Sure. Draw for turn. And I drew Nibiru. Okay. Okay. Set Ghost Bell. Pass. Can that summon from grave. If I can, I screwed up. From hand. Okay, no, it can't. Drew skeleton. Come on. Alright, well, I'll set skeleton. My opponent doesn't have a way into another monster. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, that's an Orcust engraved, so my combo is just kind of that much stronger once I actually get effect monsters. Yeah, I can't. Alright. Oh, wait, I don't think I get rewards if I surrender. Not that I'm getting anything for losing anyway. Losing 2, I drew good cards, but my opponent has normal monsters. Just attack me, man. Come on. Okay. Yeah, 2 out of 3. I am gonna actually go ahead and play like 5 games just to get a at least decent sample size here. Going second. I've been drawing kind of the balance that I want. The card balance I want between different, types of the cards in my deck. Okay, this hand has Einset's Foolish, a Kaiju, has Nibiru, has Ash. That is... You're on Tour Guide. Okay, no, am I good with that? No, I'm gonna Ash it. I'm gonna Ash that. See if you have a cross out or anything that would hinder my Orcust strategy. Because Ash is gonna be better at getting rid of that than going for Nibiru is. I'm gonna get Rongoed. My opponent is actually just going to make Rongo on me. Actually, I have Nibiru in hand. Can they? Can they make Rongo from here? So that's 2. Because I think they're gonna try to. But I have Nibiru, so it's probably fine. However big the token is, I don't even care. But yeah, I'm gonna take out Einsets. This card's genuinely bad. Oh, it's Virtual World. Oh boy. So they could be trying to make a VFD on me, which is obviously loads of fun. It's 3, 4. Oh, that is 5. Okay. Do I just Nibiru here? I don't... You know what? You don't have anything. That is the wrong zone for the Nibiru token. Anyway. danger. Okay. Have you drawn into something you can use? Oh, right. Yeah, you sent the virtual world of grave. Problems with trying to play at midnight when I've been awake all day. Because I honestly just had no idea what time the freaking event started. I can't read these things. They wrote it in military time, which I can't read without actually doing the math, which I could do. It's not like hard. It's not difficult to solve for that. But, you know. It's either midday or midnight, so had to check both. Sure. Have you forgotten that you're going first? Okay. This is not a quick effect, so here's Einsatz. Wait, what triggers this? If this is destroyed, you can summon Phantom Knights. I won't destroy it, then I'll tribute it. Here's Foolish Burial. Alright, well, the menu just wasn't working for me. But anyway, I had everything, so. Like, my hand was bad, but I still had everything that I needed. So it looks like, unlike the NR festival, I have not misread the power level and consistency of decks in this format, at least as far as what I've seen so far. I am going second. Yay! It's like a worrying having my opponent choose that, because what are they gonna do? Set 5? I drew Jet Synchron. This is the worst thing. It's not literally the worst thing. The worst thing would be drawing the one golem, but... Oh, you're on Gravekeepers or Wind Witch. that was a joke. I played this card in a build of Gravekeepers a while ago, just because when it's in the Pendulum Zone it can protect a Dark Spellcaster. That deck profile's up, I think, on my channel. It's there somewhere. I don't remember if it was any good. If that one was, or well, like if I currently would have considered that one good. I don't remember it. Because I think it was a thing that it was very specific, like that build was very specific to like that week's meta. But I really don't remember. I say week, but month. It just would have been about that amount of playtime for me, because I wasn't playing the game very much before Master Duel came out. Yeah, okay. So I mean, what does Highlander Perform Pal DDD end board look like? What does that look like? So I've drawn both Raptor and Armageddon Knight, and that's kind of awkward. But I do have Celio as well, so that is pretty good. I'd rather, I guess, this Armageddon Knight just be any Orcust, and then not have the Jet in hand so that I could discard the Orcust off of Jet. But what it will do is give me assurance that I can do anything when my opponent flips Torrential this turn. I have never, ever drawn Skeleton this much in my entire time of playing Orcust, which is basically since they were printed. Wait, first of all, I need to scale this so that my opponent can go ahead and activate what is it called? Wavering Eyes. I don't even know what the quick effect of Electrum is. It's got one, right? Like, it does actually have a... Oh, it's when a card is sent from your field or some kind of thing like that. Anyway. I do want it negated regardless. Send off the Raptor and just kind of hope that my opponent's back row isn't real, because I've not drawn any of my back row destruction, and it is. Oh well, I have Armageddon Knight. Yeah, returning it to grave isn't gonna unnegate it, so that's unfortunate. Pass turn. And like maybe I should have just set the Jet Synchron and passed, but I don't know. Probably gonna get OTK'd. Even if I do, that's 3 out of 5 games that I won, so that's not awful. It's not really what I would say is ideal. I wanted to win 4 or 5, but that might just be the way it is. Of course, my opponent might not be able to do 8,000 damage to me this turn. It's just like weird to look at an Electromite on my opponent's board with full scales and think that I'm not going to be OTK'd when I have no interruption. Defense mode. Oh, I see. Okay. So basically I have to draw Feather Duster. If I can survive this turn, that is. Okay, Feather Duster won't do it. I am going to lose this game. That's it. My opponent made Baron. I mean... Is it worth the 50 medals to sit here while my opponent does an unnecessary amount of pendulum combos? This is with the assumption that they're going to just do a bunch of unnecessary nonsense. I always forget that Masquerena has two non-link monsters. You already have Bear on board and you're gonna Aurora it on combo. Sure. Oh, right. That card is legal in this game for some reason. You know, I realized that, I was like, oh, is my opponent gonna VFD me? But that card is banned. That card is actually banned for this, this tournament. That's not. Oh boy, my opponent has multiple Omni negates now. And game on board. There's no reason not to enter battle phase immediately. Yep. Sure. Okay, so I feel like the deck ratios are fine. I feel like the deck is fine. I just have terrible luck and drew skeleton most of those games. um, so, I did win 3 of 5 despite having such terrible luck that basically those two losses were exclusively to like the monster I drew that I can summon that's a real thing was skeleton. Um and of course, you know, that last one being I actually just drew too much of the starter engine because I drew both Raptor and Armageddon Knight. 57 cards, right? Who would have thought? Yeah, no, I do like this deck as it is, I suppose. I just had bad luck in those two games, basically. I didn't draw, you know, my outs that would have actually dealt with those things. And I drew skeleton. I just like drew skeleton in a hand that's not my opening hand, where I have, because if I had a skeleton in my opening hand, I don't have Jet Synchron in my hand, and I do have a way into the scrap line. Drawing skeleton's fine. It actually just makes my combo line better. Having any Orcust in hand does that isn't Girsu. But drawing skeleton when I have nothing else that can be summoned? Jeez. Even with the golem, I was thinking of tribute summoning it, but in the other game before. Anyway, yeah. It seems like the deck list is fine. You know, little things. Maybe I would cut the Chimera. Maybe I'd cut Einsets. I think maybe even Dogmatic Punishment, just because it does lock the way it does. I would love to cut Epsilon, but because there's no side decking, I can't. Other than that, though, yeah, I think the deck list is just fine. I'm looking at it, trying to think of, is there anything else that's really a problem? And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking cut this, and also this. that puts us down to 54 cards. But again, the problem was I was drawing things that I don't want to be seeing. Not that I wasn't, except for one game, not that I wasn't drawing into my starters. So I don't know. But anyways, I think those are the changes that I'm going to make to the deck after those test games. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down as well. Put me at 53. The punishment wasn't as good as I was thinking it was going to be. So that's it for this one. Till next time.